everybody, my name is Yvonne Villarreal and I cover TV here at the LA Times. And today we welcome Constance Zimmer from UnReal, which premieres tonight. But you're getting like a sneak peek of what's going to happen tonight when we have her here.
Right?
We think. Was it really hard not to be behind the cameras here?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's like I have a new.
If at any time you want to give me direction, I'm open to it. Just let me know if there's a way I can increase our ratings here. Just let me know.
I'll do my best. Okay.
Okay. I hear you had a wild day yesterday on a yacht.
We did. It was such an incredible kind of, I guess, idea by Lifetime because it was our way of saying thanks to the critics, actually, to the journalists and to everybody that was so incredible to our first season of the show that had premiered last year. And we all went on a yacht, and it was like a group date. And I mean, we had champagne, we had photo booths and food and a DJ, and it was really our way of saying thank you because without you guys talking about us, people wouldn't be watching the show. It's been such an incredible like word of mouth that's happened. So
did you let loose? Was there lots of dancing from you? Did you take over the DJ booth?
You know, I did let loose.
Do you remember?
I do remember. I took off my shoes, which really means I did let loose.
Let loose.
There was the DJ was teaching us how to wobble. I didn't even know what that was. It's like a type of dance where you're like wobbling. I'm not quite sure. And then of course it ended up in like GIFs and Snapchats all over the internet. I'm still barely not aware that that stuff actually gets out.
See, now I don't want to do anything ever because you never know where it's going to end up.
You don't. And you also don't know how they're going to, again, manipulate it into something that it wasn't even like. There's a GIF of me out there like just doing one of the moves. And I look a little crazy. Like no shoes on, nice dress, like just doing this like 5 times over.
I'm going to have to look at that. Maybe we'll put it into the post that goes with this chat.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But Boo didn't go. I've heard so much about Boo. Can you talk to me about Boo?
Yes, Boo the dog, which is Chet on the show, Craig Bierko. His dog. It is Craig's personal dog, Boo. And he follows him around everywhere he goes. So in the first season, Craig did his first intro when he hops on a golf cart and comes into the scene. And Boo was in the golf cart with them and just walked out on camera. And Peter O'Fallon, our incredible director, said, do you think the dog could just do that all the time? And Craig's like, he'll go wherever I want. So he's everywhere. I mean, he's in the sex scenes, which is a little awkward sometimes. And he's and it's a she. She is Boo. I know.
I think Boo.
She's everywhere. We love her. She's our mascot.
She was not on the yacht.
She was not on the yacht. Yeah,
but anyway.
She might have. You know, dogs don't like it when they're on unstable ground.
Yeah.
So she's like, whenever she's in the makeup trailer too, she's a little like, is this thing gonna move? So she might not have liked it that much, actually.
I feel like a profile of Boo is in my future.
That's a great idea.
Pitching it now, editors.
Dogs of Instagram, by the way.
Dogs of Instagram.
Because there is your daily Boo that follows Boo. Have you seen that?
No.
Yes, it's your daily Boo.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Well, you were talking about the yacht and sort of giving thanks to the critics, but like, so with 2 seasons now in the can, because season 2 premieres today, like what is that like considering you wanted nothing to do with this show? Nothing.
I know. That's always going to haunt me, isn't it?
Nothing.
You know, I think it is a testament to a couple things in life. You really do get the parts you're supposed to get. You get the jobs you're supposed to get, no matter how hard it is to realize the ones you lost might be the ones that you were like, oh my God, that could have been it for me. But you know, at the time when they were making the original pilot, which was now almost like 3 or 4 years ago, it was shooting in Atlanta. I didn't want to move because I have a kid and that was too far for me. So, and it was a show on Lifetime. And at the time, they weren't necessarily saying it was like a rebranding of the network and we want to change. So
what were your thoughts about what it would be because it was on Lifetime?
Yeah, I felt like it would just be a softer, you know, possibly maybe a soapier version of what somebody would do on, say, HBO or other networks, that's what they're known for, right? But what I really appreciated and what I really took to heart was when they came back and they had made already the pilot and they had picked it up and they said, here's the deal. We now we've learned from our mistakes. We want it to be different. We want it to be dark. We want it to be edgy. You know, please just give us a chance. And so when I met with Sarah Gertrude Shapiro and Marty Noxon, the two creators, and they said, this is what it's going to be like. Sarah did this short called Sequin Raised. I saw it and I said, if that's going to be the television show, I want to be a part of that. I have to be a part of that. So I completely shifted my perspective, which is what I think has been so great about this show, is we're forcing people to shift your perspective about not only about reality television, but also about the way television is being made right now. Just because your Lifetime, it doesn't mean that you can't shift how you want people to view you as a network. And so I think we feel so unbelievably grateful that it worked. And here we are in our second season, you know, premiering tonight. And from the reviews already, it feels like we're still doing it. And so I hope we continue to do it for a long time.
Well, and Lifetime was also very persistent, right? I think I read somewhere about an executive showing up at one of your kids' functions.
Well, we go to
assume they go to the same.
Yes. She didn't just like find out. Yes.
Good.
Our kids are at the same
like,
school,
wow.
and she did. She kind of cornered me at like the school fundraiser and said, I want you to have a face with this network, and I want you to understand that we are 100% behind this show and behind it rebranding us, and please, you know, again, she said, just get it, like we're women making television for women, but from a whole different side now, and we would love, you know, we really want you to be a part of it. And it felt so true and so supportive, and I have never worked with a more supportive community. The writers, the showrunners, the producers, the studios, everything across the board has been about how do we empower women behind the camera, in front of the camera. Even though we're tearing them down a lot on our show, we're also showing you how like offensive and hurtful that is, that we do that as a community, and that you gain more from support than you do from, you know, aggression.
Well, and let's talk about the response to the show. What have been your thoughts about how people have received it?
It's been incredible. I really can't, there's not enough words to express it. I read these reviews and my mouth is, like my jaw is in my lap the whole time, because everybody's getting it. They're getting the message that goes so far beyond the fact that we're a show behind the scenes of a reality show. That's just our template. That's the world that we get to exist in, which allows us so much more freedom, because we do the show, and then we do the show within the show, and then we do the people behind the show and the people in the show, and it's so...
There's a lot of shows in the show.
It's a lot. It's really great. So I have to say it's beyond all of our expectations, and I'm just so grateful and so proud to be a part of the show.
Well, and how would you sort of describe Quinn, and do you find that you relate more to Quinn or Rachel?
You know, it's so interesting. I relate more, weirdly enough, to Jay. On the show, because Jay is the one who is really, really struggling with the part of his job that really makes him feel horrible. Rachel and Quinn have built up kind of a lot of armor that they don't see it anymore. It's just their job. They're just really good at it, and they're going to keep doing it for the rest of their lives. Whereas Jay, I think, is really, and especially in the new season, you'll see him really struggling with, wait a minute, I'm trying to have a message and follow through with it without getting swallowed up by the medium.
Right.
So, you know, Quinn's rough. She is a tough woman, and I am not that tough. And Rachel is also tough, but it is so tortured. So that's why I tend to go, you know what, I can't even relate to them. I'm going to go and relate to actually this guy over here who's struggling more with, you know, what we have to do to make this great television.
Well, and how about for you? Because you're not a viewer of reality TV, right? Has it changed your perceptions? Have you found yourself clicking over once in a while?
You know, I don't. I didn't before, and I don't now. I tried to, because I thought, oh, I'm going to watch it from a different perspective. But there's so much good television on right now. I hate to say it, but I like watching actors act. See, I can't. I get all verklempt. But I just love watching stories, and you don't really get that on reality television. You turn your brain off when you watch reality television, and when I turn my brain off, I turn the television off. So, but I appreciate it. I get it. I understand its attraction 100%. And
I'm curious to know which show you tried with, at least.
Well, I do love Project Runway, and by the way, now I'm like addicted to Cupcake Wars because my daughter and I are so fascinated by what they do with those cupcakes. So there are some out there that are super fun, and I think Project Runway, you learn. You get to see people being creative and inventive, and Amazing Race, I was actually very addicted to because I loved seeing the world and looking at all these cultures that you couldn't see just as a tourist.
But not like a Real Housewives or Kardashians.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay. But how many viewing parties of The Bachelor have people tried to get you to come to?
One.
One?
Yes, I do have friends who have a viewing party, and after I'd finished the first season, they said, you have to now come and do our parties. I said, okay, let's do it. And I watched one episode, and the whole time I was texting with one of our creators, and I said, I can't, I mean, they did a hot air balloon today. We did a hot air balloon. They did tantric sex. We did you know, I was just, it was so, my worlds were colliding, and I couldn't, it was too much.
That's
it was so crazy.
Like never again?
No, it's almost really anxious for me because I watch it as Quinn. I can't even really watch it as Constance. I see it. I see all of it. I see the angles in between the cracks of the doors. I see the women like just coming in, and you can tell like, oh, I see the edit in that. I just saw where they jumped from one clip to another, and it's crazy.
Who is Quinn to you?
Quinn to me is a challenge every day to make sure that I'm representing not a likable character, but a relatable character that is doing the job that is sometimes mostly a man's job, but showing that I can do it all and I can be in high heels and dresses and be just as damn good and not having to apologize for it and not feeling like anything's wrong with it. I'm getting the job done.
Right.
And I think that's, you know, Quinn is so unaffected by what people think that what she's doing is wrong or right. She's like, no, I'm not doing anything wrong. Look at my product. Proof is in the pudding. I've earned this. And as a woman executive, I think that I just want to make sure that I'm continually showing women it's okay. You can be strong and be proud of being strong.
Do you think she owns the book Lean In? Because I kind of wish she would write a follow-up to Lean In.
That's kind of a great idea.
Please.
Like how Ari Gold wrote a book.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's a really good idea.
Please. Because I feel like I could pick up so many tips from Quinn.
Oh, I know, because she'd be brutally honest.
Yes.
She'd just be like, these are the facts, here they are. Oh, that's a really good idea.
Has there been a moment, either in the first season or now the second, where you sort of have been inspired or empowered by her and thought, I want to apply that to my life, or I need to take a cue from Quinn?
You know, Quinn is definitely an exaggerated version, I would hope, of the truth, because obviously a lot of things that she does do cross the line that might not be legal.
Right.
So it's all about making sure that I'm staying within the lines that are legal. But yeah, I do definitely take from her confidence. She has an incredible amount of confidence, but she's so insecure. So I battle with that all the time. I'm incredibly insecure, and I am trying to learn from her, like, how do you switch that around to your benefit?
Right.
Keep your insecurities for yourself and for your home and for your family and your friends, but use your confidence to prove that you can do this job, whatever your job is, right? So I am trying to learn that. I am trying. I mean, she's a
on another level.
Ball buster, man. I do wish that there was a lot of the lines that she says to people that I could get away with, but I don't think I can.
Have you ever like looked at some of her lines and been like, I want to tweak this, or I don't know if I could say this?
Oh, all the time.
Too much.
All the time. I'm constantly and this is crazy, like actor speak, but Quinn is really the first character that I can't even do in rehearsing. I can't embody it until they say action, and I have no other choice.
Interesting.
Because then I don't question it. and I don't look at it from the outside and think, wow, this is really mean, and how is this going to affect this person, and how can I make it sweeter? I don't. I take all the filters off of it, and I just have to go for it. And I think it's why I had no idea that Quinn was funny. No clue until I watched it with an audience. And I said, wow, the line was actually pretty funny, even though it was super mean. They might be laughing out of being uncomfortable and, wow, how is she getting away with saying this stuff? But the only way I can play her is I have to just completely not give a crap.
Is that terrifying, though, that you can only sort of get to that place when action is called? Because I would imagine you think it's with the hair or something, but like to know.
Well, yeah, no, it's it's the whole package, and it's not terrifying. It's actually kind of empowering because it does allow me to just not judge it. And I think if we judged Quinn, she'd be a different character. But because she just has to freely exist as kind of a person that's just being unfiltered and being honest and giving you the facts, even though sometimes they're a little bit harsh. It might not be what we want to hear. She's kind of always right.
How would you compare her to Ari Gold?
Yeah, you know, I think that she maybe has a little more style. But I was saying a lot for a while that Quinn is Ari Gold meets Anna Wintour.
That's a good.
Which I thought, wow, that's kind of. I didn't even know where that came from. I just one day I thought maybe that kind of describes her to a T. She's doing it all and looking fabulous.
Well, let's take a question.
Yes.
Melissa on Twitter asks, "What's it like to play a character as dark and twisted as Quinn?"
It's a lot of fun. It's really, really fun. It's terrifying, but I think sometimes the things that scare us make us go to another place that we didn't even know we were capable of learning about. And so it makes me learn about things about myself because I allow myself to just go. And I never question it, and I can't. So it's super challenging and super fun. I love it. I love watching people in the scenes react to me because sometimes if I improv a line that wasn't on the page, then it becomes a whole nother thing like, is that Constance saying that about me, or is that what just happened? You know, that's why I'm constantly apologizing after takes. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It was Quinn, it wasn't me. It's like Jekyll and Hyde, like absolute Jekyll and Hyde.
How about what's your relationship like with that walkie-talkie? Do you have a name for that walkie-talkie?
No, I should, right? I should give it a name.
Yeah.
I really love it. But by the way, it's kind of like what we do with our phones now. People cannot be without their phones. It's like an attachment. It's like this arm. And the walkie-talkie is definitely her way to just get to people right then, right now. And the immediacy, the yelling.
I'm going to be loud,
Yeah.
Yeah. How about like with the second season? Is it easier now to know who's on the crew of the show versus who's the actor crew?
No, we still never know because we get new extras that play crew, and a lot of times on the show, it's real cameramen that you see as pretending that they're not real, that they're the extras. So when they're in the frame and you're thinking, but you're the real cameraman, but now you're in the frame of the shot and the extra is not in the shot, you have to just keep going. Everybody's on camera 24/7. Everybody signs waivers. You have to be prepared to be on camera. So you come on our show and you're like watching behind the monitors, you might end up on the show.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
How would you describe the journey that Quinn takes in season 2?
It's a different journey this year. You're going to see a lot more colors from her, a lot more of her weaknesses, which I think is really great because you see a lot of her strengths in the first season. You didn't get to see too much of her vulnerabilities. This season, there's a lot of things that really tear her down. Tear Rachel too. We're both at odds, and you're seeing two incredibly strong women battle, and it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all, and it's heartbreaking. It's like certain scenes where I'm like, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this without crying. Holding back Quinn's emotions is really difficult because I am a very emotional person as Constance, so having to cut that off at times is a lot. But then when I get to let it go, it's like the greatest release in the world. This character is like, thank you, I get to express an emotion. So it's a roller coaster. It really is.
Well, we talked a little bit about this already, but let's talk about the look of Quinn and what goes into it and what doesn't go into it specifically, particularly with this season. She gets a haircut, but let's talk about like how that sort of informs how you play her.
Well, I really like the idea of Quinn being no frills. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have the time to get her hair done, her nails done, nothing. She has a very specific wardrobe where she knows what's good, she knows what works, she knows what shoes can be for what day, etc. And so we start at the beginning of the season with a very freshly cut haircut that doesn't need anything done to it. And I like how as the season progresses, you see it start to shift into, she clearly hasn't had time. She doesn't have time to get a trim.
Yes, yeah.
You know, she's got a job to do. And so you get to kind of see it, you know, fraying and it kind of becoming something else. It gets longer, it gets a little bit more unkempt, you know, bangs grow out. Like, it's normal. It's like a natural progression of sorts of what happens when you work on an entire season of a show. And then there's a moment which is really nice where when Quinn gets to relax a little bit, it's almost like you see, oh, it looks like she showered. It looks like she actually took a shower and might have not blown dry her hair, God forbid, because she didn't have time to do that. But she might have actually slept in and been able to just like put conditioner in her hair, for God's sake. So it's been fun to watch that and watch the clothes get a little bit more casual. And it really, really informs where she is too. And I really love it as an actor because I get to go, oh, so let's see, this means I'm a little bit uptight today. You know, here I'm not. Maybe I'm a little more relaxed. So it's fun. I'm excited to kind of watch that progression.
What do you think is like the first thing she does when she gets up? Is it like immediately go for that phone?
Yes, definitely unplugs the phone, turns it on, make sure everything has gone okay. But it's, you know, it's coffee, it's straight to work. It's like, you know, she's got her armor, I like to call it her armor makeup, which is her eyes. And that is, I imagine her that she's drawing on her armor. She does her black. And
I want to believe that she's like looking at pictures of dogs on Instagram on that phone every once in a while. Like, she needs like a release, like an outlet.
I wish. I wish I was looking at like dogs on Instagram as Quinn. That
She's
would be,
not doing that.
I don't think she is.
Pictures of Boo, maybe.
I know. I have Boo. I got Boo in real life. And there is, can I tell you, so the funniest thing, we had this scene where Chet is coming up to Quinn and he's vying back for her so hard this new season, and Quinn just doesn't want to have anything to do with him. And in this one scene, he's coming up and he's like, come on, Quinn, come on, I can do this, I can be this person for you. And I'm like, no, you can't. And he walks away, and Boo, I had no idea, was on the couch that we were just talking in front of, and she sits up on the back of the couch and she's looking at me with these eyes of like, please love him, please love him. And I looked at her as Quinn, and I looked at Boo, the poor dog, and I said, stop it, stop staring at me. And it was so funny because I felt so bad. I just yelled at a dog. Like, Quinn is fair game. She yells at everything.
That takes it too far. That takes it too far.
And of course,
do not yell at Boo.
I know they said cut, and I was like, Boo, I love you. I'm so sorry. I didn't yell at you.
Well, a lot of the praise for the show comes at the way it sort of puts a mirror to society and what we find entertaining and all this stuff. And this season was interesting because at the center of the show within a show is they finally have a bachelor of color, which is something that the show that it resembles on actual network TV has long been criticized for not having. Talk about sort of exploring that and sort of, you know, the reaction it's received.
Well, I think, again, it's one of those topics where it shouldn't be a topic. So I think that what I found so great about why the producers decided that this was a more important story to tell is we don't need to tell the story of another woman being surrounded by 25 contestants. We need to tell the story of why is this such an issue? Why does it need to be an issue? And these characters can talk about it and not have the filter, because again, we are set within this show within a show where we can see how the media responds to it and why it is an issue. And Quinn, of course, is the one that isn't so nice about it, but she's telling you facts. And we're not, you know, the thing is, we are two white girls, and we don't have all the answers, but we're asking the questions, and we're kind of shining light into dark corners. It's not a commentary. It's just another story. And I just love that people have responded to it and that it has started a discussion. That's what we need to do more in television. Start discussions. People don't realize it's an issue until you talk about it.
Right.
So it has added another layer to a show that already has so many crazy, complicated layers. And I think you're going to find that it's interesting that we're just telling you facts.
Do you think you're going to get some more response from Chris Harrison or any of the other folks involved with The Bachelor?
I hope so. I really like it. I mean, by the way, there are so many people in reality television that come up to us at panels and talk to us on social media, and they say, I think you should change the name of the show to Real. They're like, I'm so sorry. Don't tell me that. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how do you think, I mean, the show premieres tonight on the same day that The Bachelor comes back. Should people that are having their Bachelor viewing parties immediately switch over to UnReal when
Of course they should. Of course they should.
What should an UnReal viewing party come outfitted with?
I know. Well,
What should be on the menu? What should be the decor?
What should be the decor? Well, people should come in comfortable clothing. Everybody should have probably coffee, donuts, popcorn, chips, all of the crappiest food you could find. Everybody should have their phones, and there should definitely be some hard alcohol. Lots of hard alcohol. If you're not a fan of hard alcohol, maybe some champagne.
Some champagne.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know there should be UnReal viewing parties. That's what I want to start. I wanted to start that.
Do start that.
So that then Quinn and Rachel could show up instead of a bachelor or a bachelorette. Quinn and Rachel would walk into the back of a viewing party and be like, "What are you doing? Get back to work."
Please do it.
We'll
Let
try.
Lifetime know you want to start this tour.
You've given me so many great ideas today.
And I won't charge for them,
okay.
I promise.
I love it.
Well, thank you much so much. Blah, 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 blah.
That's all right.
Would Quinn call for a take two on that?
No.
Okay.
Because it's real.
Well, Constance, thanks so much for joining us. It was a
thank
pleasure.
you.
And to all you, thanks for tuning in. And if you want to read more about UnReal, check out my colleague Meredith Blake's story that came out today.
It was amazing. It's amazing.
And catch the premiere tonight. Thanks so much.
Premiere tonight. Bye. Thanks.